Hey everyone, today I'm going to do a video while I'm walking down my hallway because I'm in a walking mood. And I used to do those videos where I'd walk up and down my neighborhood, which I can still do, but it's really cold outside, so I'm not going to do it. And today I want to talk about a good topic that someone brought up to me yesterday, which happens to all of us, which is, I thought I was better. Why am I doing so bad again? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I've been feeling so good. And there's different variations of why this is happening. And a lot of people underestimate, and I'm talking about myself, I did this too, that they were doing a lot better than they were, but they usually weren't. Once we dig underneath the surface, we look at the belief systems and the behaviors. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Don't sit in silence. Please reach out. Come to a webinar. Check it out. If you're on the fence about coaching, come to a webinar and see how we run them. Then I go into detail. And obviously the one-to-ones are much more customized. We take very good notes, etc. But most people know that already because I say it in every video. But it's good to say it again. All right. A lot of people will have some relapse where they say, I've been doing so well. Then they spiral into oblivion. Now, this isn't a 1-out-of-1 ratio, but usually 99% of the time, the person was still doing a bunch of compulsions, the avoidance behaviors, and the OCD was dormant. How do I know that? When I speak to people who've put a lot of work in, not that the person who I'm explaining didn't put a lot of work in, their beliefs are shifting. There's really no compulsions, no avoidance behaviors, at least that they're telling me, because I never know, because I lied to Rob a lot. Not out of fear of embarrassment. I just was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to get triggered. Usually, their chances of major relapses diminish over a long period of time. I have not had a major spike in years with my sensory motor, for an example. Body dysmorphia took me a little bit longer because I didn't take it as seriously, but it took me about 1.5 years longer to really get underneath my worst case scenario, which is not looking how I wanted to look. Self-rejection had nothing to do with other rejection. I didn't care if every female on earth told me I was ugly, bloated, looked like shit. Didn't mean anything to me. It was about the way I saw myself look, my success. Me, how I felt making money. Me, how I felt feeling smart. Not if other people thought I was dumb or anything like that. That wasn't what it was. So I would have these big relapses with my body dysmorphia and sensory motor, but we'll use the body dysmorphia. No! And I would spiral into this like deep despair and then do a bunch of compulsions and avoidance. I was doing so good, but I wasn't actually. I still was doing compulsions, maybe not as frequently, but I was still doing a ton of them. And I hear this all the time from people. I know for a fact I wasn't. And then they ask 10 reassurance questions on that call. And I think to myself, then I have to show them, I let them, I don't just throw it at them right away. I used to do that in my early coaching days and it doesn't work out well. So learn to be a coach. There's a lot of learning with that too. So because when someone is really stuck, if you just tell them right away, like this is what you did wrong, you're a moron, it does not really work out well, and why compassion and empathy are so important. But tough love is just as important and usually needed in these particular scenarios. To show people, no, you have been doing compulsions. You have been doing avoidance. Nobody really spirals into this big of a despair just out of nowhere, usually. Also, the second part of it is, the OCD roller coaster has no rules. So it will go up and down, sideways and long ways, and underneath the grass and on top of the grass, and then blow up in your face, then make you feel like you don't have OCD, then convince you when you're suffering it's not actually OCD and it's real, and all the other things. That's why we say OCD has no rules. So the better you get at wearing that, which is unconditional life acceptance, because even though OCD doesn't have me, I still have OCD. It's more than likely a genetic disorder. The stuff about there's more than likely not genes involved. It's more than likely not true. It's more than likely a very serious genetic disorder because OCD is fueled by rigid beliefs. And the last time I checked, everyone I know is rigid. So everyone would have OCD. And they go, well, people say, well, it's by trauma. And, well, nowadays everyone has trauma. So that means everyone have chronic OCD. So that's obviously not the case. And even if 2% of the population has the obsessive compulsive disorder gene, not 2% of the population has OCD chronically. There's no fucking way. If you take that 2% out of 100 and blow that up into a separate 100, maybe 5 of those. So 0.05 of that original 2% have it the way that we have it. Still a lot of people worldwide, 20 million, 30 million. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then there's really severe mild cases that are like teetering over. But OCD has no rules, again, and also life isn't fair. Unconditional life acceptance. Why is this happening to me? You have OCD. And then you got to look at stuff. Have you been doing compulsions? Have you been doing avoidance behaviors? How's your belief work? I could tell you, the last 100 to 200 people who have come in with, I was feeling so good in a 40-minute phone call, at the end of the phone call, they said to me, yeah, I was doing a lot of compulsions. Fuck. So it just does go to show you they were doing a lot of things. So just because you're feeling better does not mean you're getting better, right? And that's not a statement just from Ellis. Many people there's books called Feeling Better versus Getting Better, or topics about, because when you're getting better, let's say from an addiction, you're withdrawing from, let's say you're going to AA for alcoholism, you're 12 days sober, you are getting better, but you are feeling like just horrendous death. And then potentially even your life could be a threat because you could die from alcohol withdrawal. So it's the same principles with OCD. So just because you're feeling better, the amount of people that come on calls, I'm feeling better, and then they're still asking me reassurance on the calls, goes to show me why it's not really what you think. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Please comment down below if you're going through this. Hope to hear from you soon.